Hiya, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katrina. I'm known as Razzadazzle Art on YouTube, and in this video I'm going to be chit-chatting about my different art books collection, and hopefully it will motivate you guys out there and inspire you in the art world. These are all my different art books, and I am going to divide this video up into different parts due to otherwise we'll be here for hours. And if you like this kind of video, do give me a huge thumbs up, because then I will do part 2 of this video. So with my arts collection here, I choose books that will motivate me and inspire me, and all different artists. And because I went to university, I did do a lot of essays, so I always turn to books to look for visual inspiration and get inspired by different artists with sometimes what they create and sometimes what they say. And as well with books, I think you've always got the internet to look up stuff, but I think with a book it's very a physical thing, and it's quite nice to sometimes have that physical thing that you can look through and go back to for research, or even if you're thinking what can I make today, or what can inspire me to do my next anything, video, painting, or it could be anything, I guess. And I'm very into quotations as well, so sometimes like artists, if they use quotations in their work, or quotations they just go with their life with, that sometimes inspires me. So I always like reading up on different things, as you'll see as I'm going through my different books. So like I say, let's get into this video, and I hope you love it, and do give it a huge thumbs up if you do, because if you give it a thumbs up then I know that I can do part 2 of this video, because I'm going to do a few of these, otherwise I'm going to be here for hours and hours. So I'm going to do a few of these books and show you guys, and hopefully they'll motivate you and inspire you. So I tried to narrow my list of books down, but there is still quite a lot to go through. But hopefully you enjoy this video, and it will, like I say, inspire you. And I'm just going to get into it. So first of all, I'd say this is a fabulous book. It's the history of art, and in here it goes through, of course, like it says, all different, from the beginning of art until like obviously Egyptian art, until, I'm trying to think what this goes up to. I mean, it's not, I don't think it's 2000, but more or less. So, 1991. I mean, I went to university about 2005, I think it really was about. So, I mean, most of these books I did get around the time that I went to uni, because like I said, I used them for research and reference. But this is a really cool book to get, because like I said, it goes through all the main artists that you need to know about, basically, and the ones that have made art really. And it focuses, of course, on the most famous ones and stuff. So this is a really cool book to have. If there's any of the books that I talk about, I'm going to briefly go through them all. And if there's any you want me to do a more thorough video on, do let me know as well. I can even put in the description box, if you'd like me to, of where you can find these books, because I know you guys sometimes, if I chit chat about things, you're like, where can I go and find this book? So I'll put in the description box a link to where you can go and find all these different books. So this one is really cool. It's Pocket Frida Kahlo, and like I was saying, I do use quotations sometimes in my work, and I do like quotations in general. And with this, it's like different quotations that she would say. I'm going to pick one randomly, so if it is really weird, I do apologise. But then again, Frida Kahlo was very extreme and out there. It is categorised into different areas. Oh, okay. I paint myself because I am often alone, because I am the subject I know best. So if you don't know Frida Kahlo, she is of course an artist, but she was very well known for her painting and surrealist and that kind of category. So this is really cool. Frida Kahlo, wisdom, inspirational quotes and wise words from the literary icon. This one's a bit quirky. As you guys know or might not know, I'm into fairies and stuff. So this is like a pocket little guide, what this person has made you want to. I just love how this is written, and hopefully you guys can see it. There you go. How it is written, and it makes you think you're in that little world. because it's about a book that he starts off that he catches fairies when he's younger, and then as it goes on, hopefully you can see this, as it goes on the fairies get more and more mischievous and the writing gets more and more detailed, and I mean some of the fairies are a bit graphic, I'm not gonna lie, but it's meant to be like he's going around capturing these fairies in this book, so it just takes you into a different world, and I love how it's done that. And I think art should always do this. Sometimes when you're looking at an art piece, it should make you feel like you're going into that world of the artist who has painted their work, or made, it doesn't have to be a painting, or like when you do an installment and stuff, it feels like you're actually going into the world of the artist's brain kind of thing. So I think this is a really cool book that makes you do that. Tracey Emin, this is her, it's not so much, well it is about her art, but it's about her life as well. It's called Tracey Emin's Strange Land. And as well, because I am dyslexic, I know I say it in most of my videos, but I am. Sometimes certain books I do find more tricky to read. But if it's about a subject that I want to read about and something that I want to get engrossed in, then it is a lot more easier, isn't it? It says at the front, for my mum and dad, with love, and thank you for making me so independent. Tracey Emin is an artist whose work has been exhibited in galleries and collected by museums throughout the world. Though known for visual artists, controversial writings have always formed her backbone and her work. So this is a bit of her life story, and it just says about how she grew up, and it is a cool read, because yeah, it says why she does the paintings and drawings. I mean, she's an all-round artist, I'd say. She's done a lot of she's famous for her bed, of course, we know, and the tent for who she's ever slept with, and it always works on like words, how when she says slept with, it doesn't mean literally who she slept with, it means who she's had fallen asleep next to kind of thing, as well as who she slept with. So she always works with that kind of thing. With my art, I change around from video stuff and digital and sculpture. So this one's video art. So it's all different video artists who show and do video art in different forms. I'm trying to think of a good one that I can. I don't even know if it's in here. One of my favourite artists and video artists is Tony Osella, and he does a lot of projection stuff. I'm trying to think if he's in here. I know he's in here because I've seen him in here so many times. But anyway, he does a lot of projection stuff where he projects onto trees, buildings, and even like weird faces, and he projects onto them and they like talk to each other. And before, I have been inspired by him when I've done like a video installation where I had video interacting with each other and talking to each other. This one is women artists in the 21st century and the 20th century. I don't know why I said that back to front, but yeah. So this is women artists. Of course, me being me, you have to have a women artist book, because I think before I've done an essay on women artists in art, because it's been very different throughout the years. Women artists have not always been seen, because it's been in the past a very male dominated area. So we won't go into full detail, otherwise we'll be here forever. But this one's really cool. As you can see, I've got loads of sticker notes in it, due to probably in the past I've done different things on different artists, or I did a art interaction quiz, what I did, and I did use this book quite a lot, just saying about different artists and stuff. Just showing you a few of my favourites here. Oh, there you go, there's some of that's Sarah Lucas's stuff. She was linked with, there you go, linked with Tracey Emin, and she was around that kind of art theme. Sorry, art time. Oh, there you go, there's Tracey Emin's bed. So this is what I was saying about before. So it's got loads of different artists that have rocked the art world, and it's a really cool book because it's just about the right size that you can just put in your bag and take somewhere. This is along the same area of company icons, and this is called Art Now. So it's more broader. It's got so many different artists again that you can literally flick through and look at. I mean, with art, there's always going to be artists who are pushing the boundaries. I don't know if you remember the Chapman brothers who were in the Saatchi, and they were pushing boundaries with their art, and some of it was very shocking, and it was about the whole shock concept. But I always find this handy just to pick up and sometimes just look through, because sometimes you forget certain artists and it gets you inspired again. So this is another cool one. It's called Art Now, as you can see, and it's a nice little hand-sized book again. I mean, there's certain artists that I do love, and there's certain artists what you don't have to love, but it's a kind of love-hate relationship because they are known because they made the art world blow up in a certain way. They pushed art to its limits. Okay, this one is a Lego Builder's Guide. So this one relates to, obviously, of course, I used to work at Legoland. And I didn't use this book, but it would give me certain like ideas and things. Funny enough, in here I've just seen, one of your tasks you have to do when you first start is build a spear out of Lego, because obviously a Lego brick is a certain shape, and if you can build that, the whole theory is you can build anything. So this is just a cool book, what is the unofficial Lego Builder's Guide, and it shows you like different tips for when you're starting out on how to do things, but differently, like think outside the box, what you always do when you're building anyway, because if you don't have certain bricks or you want to build sideways and that kind of thing. So this is a really cool one if you're into that kind of stuff. This one's called The Body, and it's basically art that is all, like it says, about the body. Because I'm always interested in, I think I said before, my other videos, of body form shapes and stuff with my sculptures and things of dancers and stuff, how they, when they dance, they form certain shapes, and I just find it interesting, body language and that kind of thing. So it's a whole book of different artists who use the body in some way within their work. Oh, this is the artist, really cool. Barbara Kruger. If I pronounce these names wrong, I do apologise. Your body is a battleground, and she uses a lot of text in her work and imagery. So there's like so many different artists in here. So then it goes on to, I've got this book called The Handmade Marketplace, how to sell your crafts by local and global and online. So this is like a handy little book if you're trying to get out there with your art, and it just gives you tips on how to set up different stores, for example like Etsy, and just gives you top tips of how to get out there basically. As well, in it shows you different websites that you can look at to be inspired by, and so as well as it being of course a book, it links you to different internet sites as well that you can go and check out and link to. So it's a really cool book if you're like a artist and you want to try and get out there. This is another one what is along that same guidelines, the Artist's Guide to Selling Work. But this is more about how to, what's always the ongoing question, price your work, and how to write a certain CV to someone if you want to show your work in a gallery. Or, I mean, it's a bit different now because the internet has taken over, so you can have Instagram and Twitter and all that kind of stuff, but you still, it's quite good for top tips to show yourself, because even if you're on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, you still want to represent yourself in a certain way. You don't want to go out, and you want to show your art off the best it can be, basically. So this is a really cool one. This is just called the Art Book, and it's more or less the same as the other one. It's like the art history one a bit, and it's got, as you can see, so many different artists throughout the years again. It's got Dali there. Well, you know I love Dali. It's got tons. I mean, it's just handy if you're writing something about a theme in art and you've got so many different. So then we've got a book on Surrealism, what is an area of art that I do love, and of course I would say one of the main people in surrealist art is Dali, again with a lobster telephone that he's well known for. And it's just about all different surrealist artists, and it is a really cool book. Movement in modern art, and yeah, and it just shows you loads of different artists who relate to surrealist art. Of course, I've got another book on Tracey Emin, but this one is more about her art rather than her life, and it shows all different aspects of her different art she does. I mean, I love the stuff where she did the patchwork things and wrote stuff into different, like for example this chair, and she did a lot of, she did do video art as well, and that was her tent, and she did a lot of, probably won't find it now, she did sculpture, video art, drawings, oh well, here we go, like tapestry, is it called tapestry? I think it is, where she wrote stuff but then put it onto material and then would hang it like a wall hanging. She liked that whole idea that it's like a wall hanging but it's got more layers to it, and she would always sometimes use words that were shock words because she was just known for trying to shock people. Yeah, it's just a really cool book, and it's got all of her different art stuff in it, and you literally can flick through it and be inspired. I mean, sometimes when I'm looking through them I can just be sitting there and then just realising I've been reading, I'm looking through it for hours. This one is installation art, because like I said, I did do some installation pieces before of video stuff, so I was very interested in installation art as well. And with installation art, it's really interesting because it tries to engross you in whatever the installation art is, because that's the whole idea with this like area of art. I always get confused between Tate Modern, Tate Britain. I think it's Tate Britain. They always, as you walk in, normally do an installation piece as you walk in. So I think there was a massive sun once, and you'd walk in and you could like lie there and watch this kind of sun. And it's meant to be the whole idea that you're involved in the art piece. So that is what installation art is. So these are just loads of different artists who it fits into that category. The Turner Prize is like a prize you can win, and it's basically categorised different artists who can put themselves forward for it. This is Damien Hirst's work, where he used a lot of, is it called taxidermy, and animals, and he would put them in half, and he did a piece to do with flies and showing how it was cool. I think it was something to do with life and death, and showing how delicate the boundary is between. That was quite a cool one. It was like explosive. So they're all different categories of artists. They don't have to always be, there's of course Tracey Emin again, don't have to be installation art. They can be paintings, they can be video, sculpture of course. Yeah, so this is really cool. It just shows you all the different varieties of artists who have won the Turner Prize. This one's Ron Monk. I don't know if that's how you pronounce the name. I always say it differently. And he does a lot of, I'm trying to show one that's not so graphic. Oh, this is really cute. He does a lot of sculpture stuff and bases it around the human form, but as well, as you can see, angels, and it shows how he starts his work from start to finish, what is really fascinating, because I always like to know in detail how artists do make their work rather than just the final product, because it is interesting as well on a sculptural based element as well. So it shows how he starts off from the beginning of making a cast, or literally making from a clay model, to his final piece of his artwork. That's really cool. It's got all his, and what he's influenced by, like I showed you the angel and stuff, so a lot of church stuff as well, and saying about the Virgin Mother and things like that, and he puts a twist to it and things, so he's really cool. Dagger, I always say that wrong. This one is an artist who does a lot of art of figurative stuff and ballet, and I love his ballet stuff the most, and the dancer stuff, and his sculpture elements as well of the ballet dancer. I just love the feel of his work. It's very expression, like you can just see, you could just in a way look at that picture and feel like it's moving. As well, this shows how he done certain pieces and why he made certain art pieces, and it's all round book about him, what it says, drawing, prints, painting and writing. Frida Kahlo, but this one is her diary. So I was really interested with Frida Kahlo because she has a really interesting life, but as well I loved how she did her diary. And I mean, it's all, you can't, they've translated it so you can read it, otherwise I would not be able to read it, but I was just really interested in how she does little paintings in there and all the different, how she expresses herself, and then it shows you of what it says in the writing, because she's just a fascinating person, and I think it was a really cool thing to have, and it's really, I just find it interesting. I mean, you guys might not find this kind of thing interesting, but it's such a personal thing to share with people as well. I mean, there is a Frida Kahlo film out there, what is worth watching if you haven't seen it yet. I mean, I might do another video on artist films and stuff as well. If you're into that kind of thing, do let me know in the comment box, because I might do a video about that as well. And the last but least is this one, tattoo art. I'm always inspired by tattoo art stuff. Not literally because of tattoos, because funny enough I don't have any tattoos, because I can't make my mind up on stuff like that. But, oh, I'm going to show you guys, it's so heavy. Hang on 1 second. God, this is a really heavy book. I just love how tattoo art always seems to like flow. Well, I prefer the tattoos where they flow as a body, and I use the body as a canvas, and I always love this idea. And I do prefer, like I say, tattoos when they do seem to link with the body somehow, when they are part of the body rather than like, that's really cool, phoenix, and that kind of feel to it. So I do love this idea, so I think that's why I do like looking at tattoo art books and stuff, and I just love how it flows. And I think that's part of with my art, I do like if the artwork does feel like it is flowing and it's kind of got its own life of its own. I hope you loved this video, and do give it a huge thumbs up if you did. And if there's any other books that you think would inspire me and motivate me, do put them in the comment box and get involved. If there's any books what I talk about that you want to chat a bit more about, do put in the comment box and I'll do maybe another video on them. And as well, there is a few more other books in my art collection that I haven't spoke about yet, so I might do part 2 video. If you haven't already followed me on my social medias, that is my Facebook, my Twitter and my Instagram, that's Razzle Art, so go and check that out. I always upload new art stuff to this social media area, so you can get involved with that as well. And I am on Etsy, so I do sell all my different art that I create through my Etsy site. So if you are part of the Etsy community, do go and check that out as well. And remember to subscribe to the channel, because then you'll be part of my Razzle Dazzle Them art bubble, and it's fabulous to have you and you're part of the family. And see you later, and keep arty and creative.